All right, so I'm planning a new project with this jelly roll here, and I thought that I would have a little discussion about the age-old question, do I pre-wash my fabric or not? And the answer is, it depends. For quilting, I do not pre-wash my fabric. There are several reasons for this. I find it easier to work with the fabric that is not pre-washed because it's often treated with a starch-like substance, which makes it stiffer and easier to work with, and it doesn't wrinkle as much. And I find that as long as I'm using the same material throughout, which is to say I'm not mixing cotton with polyester, as long as it's 100% cotton, I've never had an issue. Now, some people say that you should wash it because they're afraid of colors bleeding or because they're afraid that it will shrink unevenly, but I've never had an issue with that. So I do not pre-wash my fabric when I'm quilting. The other reason is this jelly roll. I will show you. So you buy a jelly roll. It is 42 inches long, 20 pieces by 2.5 inches wide. And so you end up with a whole lot of ribbon-like fabric. And if you put this in the washing machine like this, you will end up with a huge, gigantic knot when you take it out of the machine. Trust me, I know. So I just don't pre-wash. And then of course, I live in an apartment, and so I have communal laundry downstairs, which I have to pay for, and it's just not worth it. I'm not going to spend that much money and deal with people to pre-wash quilting fabric. However, I will say that any fabric that I'm going to be using to make clothing, I do pre-wash. So if I'm making clothing out of cotton, like woven cotton, or if I'm making clothing out of knit fabric or stretchy fabric, bamboo, cotton, whatever, I do always pre-wash. I always pre-wash if I'm going to be making clothing. So that's just my rule of thumb. I'm sure I'll get a lot of comments with people saying, oh, you have to do this and you have to do that, but that's just the way I've been, and I've been sewing for 30 years, so I've never had an issue. So that's just that. I'll talk to you later.